priming, powerful being. Shout out to you. Today I'm going to be talking about building your business with conscious and consciously. Now, when I say that, I'm not just talking about your business as it means your brand. I'm talking about the brand of yourself. So building the business of you consciously and with conscience, and building your business consciously and with conscience. Now, inspired by the book E-Myth Enterprise. So keep tapping in with me if you feel like, man, I've kind of been sleeping, or I've just kind of been doing what everybody been doing in my business. So I'm going to be sharing with you building your business consciously and with conscience, not just your real business as in, well, both is your real business, not just your actual entity, but you as an entity. Not just the organization, but how you organize your mind and your life. So keep tapping into this episode of Ed Talks Daily if you want to learn more or get some inspiration about building your business consciously, baby. So let's go. Tap in. Now, so building your business consciously, start with mindfulness. All right, buzzwords. Yeah, I heard of this, mindfulness. Now, mindfulness does not necessarily mean to have your mind full. Somebody says, yo, my mind is full and I'm in a mess. I must got the mindfulness down I got that thing down. Yo, that's not what I'm talking about. Mindfulness is not about having your mind full, but it's seeing, observing to see what's happening, if it is full or if it's empty, if it's hungry or if it's getting toxic. So mindfulness is really about you observing, okay? So now, today on Ed Talks Daily, I want to talk to you a lot about observing. When you are able to observe, when you're able to step outside yourself and look into yourself, you are going to be way more conscious, and then you can do things with a conscience. A lot of times, people do stuff that's like really bad in society. By that I mean they do things that don't serve the world or themselves, not because they're bad people. Not because they just had this whole thing out where they just like, yo, I'm trying to mess the world up. I'm trying to mess that thing up. I'm trying to mess it up. Nah, they just wanted to get theirs. They wanted to make some money. They wanted to do something. They wanted to have a purpose. And somebody lied along the way. And then now all of a sudden they really do think that this is the way, but they're causing more harm than good. So the same thing that corporations, institutions, people with jobs, you get in a system that is not made to serve the people really, and your intention is to serve the system, but because the system is not serving the people, you're not really carrying out your intention. So it's the same thing. Sometimes in your life, you've adopted a system from society that in your mind is like, this is how it's supposed to be. But it's not really working for you because, come closer, come closer. They lied. They lied. They're trying to control you, okay? There was a lie to begin with. So because of that, people are claiming to be something that they're not, because they're subconsciously being what they don't realize that they're being. So a lot of people are not the chief executive officer of their life. They're just taking orders. Somebody says, who they taking orders from? Who? World Health Organization? Who they taking orders from, Ed? They're taking orders from their subconscious mind. So building your business consciously is you understand that, listen, if my subconscious mind literally creates my life, why don't I consciously influence my subconscious mind and stay conscious so that way the past subconscious scripts don't take over my life? Let's repeat that again. Why don't I remain presently conscious about what's happening, what's going on, so that I don't subconsciously relive what I used to be, calling it I'm woke? Or A lot of people need to do so much unlearning because it's their learning that's detrimental. They've learned so much that they can't even learn what they need to learn because they are bamboozled by their own learning. They have been tricked by their own learning. And you're like, yo, who should I blame? Let's not play the blame game. Look, the system is to blame, but we don't want to remain in shame, so we don't blame the system. We change the system. You're like, how do I do that? You change the system of how you run your business. Is it making sense? If it's making sense, comment sense in the chat. So, your system. You're like, what is that? What's a system? Every business have a system. Now, I have systems for my business. I have plenty of systems. That's how I'm able to do so much with very little effort, but with dedication and time. Because I've done certain things, and all I got to do is plug stuff in, and those things create these things. So, what do I mean by that? Some people, they have a system right now, except they didn't create the system. You know, they have a subconscious script, so they're running a program and they need reprogramming. But guess what? Some people at this instant, they're getting a new programming, but they're still not deciding what that program is. And you're like, how? TV programming. Somebody said, I wonder why I'm always bitter and angry and sick of men. Stop watching the Real Housewives of whatever. Somebody said, I'm thinking murder on my mind all of the time. Well, stop listening to content all about murder. And you're like, why do I feel the need to just shoot this person? You've been listening too much. You've been watching too much. And now you are literally, let's wait for it, in the sunken place. Wake up! Now, I'm making light of it. I find myself in a sunken place all of the time. But let me tell you something. I find myself in a sunken place. What do I mean by that? I'm noticing it. So, a lot of people, they're in a sunken place, but you can't convince them that they're in there. They're like, no, this is me. This is my life. I've always been like this. Don't talk to me. Talk to the hand. I don't know what you're talking. You threatening me. You're threatening my identity in this world. This is me, I'm sure. But the truth of the matter is, it's not. And really, you've been a sum total of your childhood programming, TV programming, school programming, governmental programming. You are living out everybody else's media, and you're calling it reality. So now, the moment you become a mediator between what you consume and live out is the moment you can transform your life. Now, yesterday I was thinking about how I watch Power on Sundays. I watched the Power series, and I got stuck in it. Let me just be serious. I started watching Power with ghosts, and I got in the whole culture with my friends, and we'll come together on Sunday and watch Power. I'm like, damn, these shows are really ruthless. But then again, I'm like, damn, the psychology behind this show is some good insight for me to learn. So just in case these people try to do these things, I know the game they're playing before they're playing the game, so I'm watching the media consciously, but I'm still making it a religion. Somebody says, what do you mean? I'm religiously showing up to watch it every single time at a specific time of the week. I'm not saying it's a religion for me. No, I'm just saying I'm watching it religiously every Sunday. And I say that because Sunday, a lot of people say it's the Lord's day. Now, some will argue Sabbath is Saturday, but that's your argument. But I'm like, bruh, why am I watching people kill, shoot each other, plot to manipulate, and build down and sell drugs every Sunday? Shouldn't I be like communicating to God? I'm like, this is my Sabbath. But I'm like, yo, let's come and watch Force. And then it's like, the last episode of Force was, this is who we are. Oh my goodness, perfect analogy. Look at that. So Tommy and them, they was doing their Zoc shits. You know, I'm from Miami, and Zoc mean they out here doing, you know, illegal activities that involves other people getting shot. This is what we do. So Tommy and them was talking, and the title was, this is what we do. This is the life we live. They picked up a shovel, pick up some dirt, throw it inside the top of somebody in a hole. This is what we do. This is how we live. I'm like, golly. I'm like, yo, there's a 17-year-old kid watching this, and he caught like a body, but he wasn't too sure of it. Now he's watching and he's like, yo, this is what I do. Oh, that's what I do. This is who I am. I'm a hot boy. All right. I'm a shotter. Bad man. Right? That's what I do. And now all of a sudden, this person's mentality is like, this is what we do. And now it's justified. It almost became like a religion. It's like, yo, they looked at each other. It's like, yeah, we just shot this person. We didn't really have to, but because this is what we do, we had to. And then they looked at each other and agreed that this is what we do. Because in their mind, the street life is the only life they know. Now, I am going against certain drugs. Yes, I am. Certain drugs should not be sold. In fact, certain drugs should not be sold by the organizations that are legal. Let's get that right. Okay. However, if a business involves you not having a conscience, that business is not worth in the process of, because that business is causing more harm than good. Now, with Tommy's psychology, come on, man. Tommy is a multimillionaire in his mindset. I mean, his understanding of humans and how they operate, great. Tommy is he has his mind on point. Now, he has a lot of demons, and because he killed people he loved. I mean, the dude killed his own father. This is what we do. He killed his girlfriend, his other girlfriend. I'm not even sure if he took out his mom, but I think his mom is still alive. But that show is next level. So Tommy could be a successful entrepreneur and sell any product and not have to be in the streets because of the stuff that the streets come with. Now, I used to think selling weed was a bad thing. Then I got older. You know, then I had a couple of interactions with Mary Jane, and then I made Mary Jane a good friend of mine. And then I started realizing that weed is from the earth and it's medicine. Then I thought to myself, oh, selling weed is not a bad thing. Yo, this is just herbs. In fact, it's medicinal. I was like, oh, they put it in our minds that it's a bad thing. But then I realized it's not weed selling that's a bad thing at all, because it's medicine. It's like, I'd rather get that than some other chemical that is gonna get me addicted. Like there's an opioid crisis, right? I'd rather get that to release some of my muscle tension or pain, right? Get you some sativa or indica. I'd rather get that. But the ramifications of certain markets and selling weed means that you have to hold certain territory, which means you have to own a certain aura. You have to identify to be a certain person. You have to do certain things, and you got to be in the streets, you know? And because of that, it comes with complications. But now, being older and having been around many people, I start to realize that it doesn't really work that way unless you sell certain amounts, or you get in certain territories, or you do certain things, and you mess with certain people, then you will reap what you sow. I found out it was normal day-to-day people. Really, there are street pharmacists for real. Because you come and you're like, damn, I just had a long day, I need some ganja. Maybe you have a conversation with them and they serve you some ganja, and you go about your business and I'm relaxed, I'm good. Your weed man is like your little, imagine if you're a ganja person. What? Okay, plug. I don't say ganja person or weed man. I don't talk like that. If your plug, if your plug was actually like a mental health coach, and he's like, listen, I understand you're coming for ganja, but I know what you need. I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you need, and then guess what? I won't do no harm. Now I don't know how I got to that. I came from Tommy to this is who we are to ganja for a reason. Because guess what? We could invest our life energy in anything that we want in this world, but the moment we identify that this has to be the way, because we've seen it so long, all the people we look up to, the rappers, the singers, you're like, yo, they all did that, they did that, and you try to follow their footprints, and you identifying, you literally copying, you're literally taking somebody else's business model and you're saying that got to be my business model. So you're not innovating because it's not coming out of your desire to serve or bring something. It's coming out of your desire to replicate what has been, or the lack of desire to, because you're unconscious. So at this point, you have to think about your life and think about your so-called desires and ask yourself, is this what my soul wants to do? Or is this what society told me to do? Is this what my soul wants to do? Or was that Cardi B's idea? Was that Meg Thee Stallion? Was that really me? You'd be like, what would Mary do? Okay? You gotta really ask yourself that. Because a lot of times you're not running your business. Somebody else's mindset or thing they put in your mind is running your business. So let's go back to the topic here. I hope that makes sense for you and you got some value out of that. So building your business with consciousness says, I am not going to build myself or something in the world that's a brand at the expense or at the demise of someone else. That's all it says. All it says is, I'm not going to get mine and then that hurts you. I'm not going to run a Ponzi scheme and mess up this whole thing and mess up all these families. I'm not going to sell a product that I know I don't know what I'm doing. I put some chemical in it and now it's messing people's heads and hair up. I'm trying to get mines. I want to get mines. You see, you're doing wrong by karma. And when you do wrong by karma, you might enjoy the taste of the fruit. It's like God said, don't eat from that forbidden fruit, and you went, you enjoyed it. You're like, God, what you lied to me, man? I want the knowledge. This fruit is sweet, God. You was lying. And then God said, wait, you gonna find out. You gonna learn today. So you walking around there, all of a sudden, things start looking weird. You're like, dang, what happened to that blissful state I used to be in all of the time? Man, I used to be naked and be good about it. Now, I can't even stand around. I feel so embarrassed. Something's wrong with me here in this plant. I don't know. God said, I told you not to eat from that fruit. Now that you're conscious of the evil then has its way to make its way into you. And now the laws will not work for you. Now you got all types of laws, which you got options. But look, sometimes more options ain't better. Sometimes following the divine laws is the best. Somebody says, I want more options. So you know what? I'm going to have 5 side pieces. Now, God had one main for you and a future husband or wife, but you got 5 pieces, so you're spread into 5. So God says, I need a whole person to give the whole person. You're not whole. I'm sorry. You're going to stay by yourself. And he said, did God say that? God didn't say that directly, but God put out the laws. So whatever you do, karma comes back to you. So think of it doing right by society, by people, by the laws. It's just you saying, I want karma to come back and build a life worth living. So I'm not going to do practices at the demise of others. So there's an integrity in building your business. There's an integrity when it comes with building your business with conscious and consciously. So with conscious is, you got to go as deep as, what impact does my business have on the environment? Now, I told you, I'm not just talking about your entity, I'm talking about the entity of you. What impact does my business have on my environment, the people around you? So the people around me, you're like, yo, okay, you gossip about everybody else's business. You're like, hey, did you see LaQuisha? Yo, did you see Karen? Yo, did you see John? Yo, did you see Byron? Yo, you know, this person, blah, 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 blah. Now you talking about everybody. Now, you out here talking about everybody else's business. So now you forgot about your business. So now because you're not doing business with a conscience, you're not being conscious. Now you talk about everybody else's business and you blame everybody, but you never take responsibility. And because you never take responsibility, you don't even know how to respond now. because you lost your responsibility. It's not there no more because all you do is react. Oh, did you see what Cardi B did last night? She said she was scared on the whole I was at 3 a.m. I don't know why I was watching Cardi B, but when notification came up, I'm up. I'm like, it's Cardi. It's Cardi B. You ain't got to hop on that. Very weird. I never watched Cardi. And Cardi was like, yo, I'm scared. She's in the hotel room, like 50,000 on it. She just like, I'm scared. She barely says anything. And she says, I'm gone. So I don't know how I even got to that point. But what I'm saying is, we can't be, look, I just gossiped about Cardi B's. That's her business, not my business. I need to be focused on my business. Yo, so we talk about everybody's life and how they did that. Oh, yo, did you see what he did? Did you see the current news? Yo, did you see what, I know a lot of people be tapping into Justin LeBoy's page. Who else they be tapping in? What's the culture now? The toxic mindset culture. What's his name? Okay, I'm not gonna call him out. I'm gossiping now. I'm gossiping. Let's not do that. Okay, I'm talking about other people's business. I'm gonna stop doing it. I gotta catch myself. Okay, I'm having a good time today. It's a good light mood, okay? It's a light mood, so go with me. So what I'm saying is but I'm doing that for example, so I'm not really talking about them. I'm just giving them an example. So now you on, what's that main page? Whatever, shade room. You in a shade room, you're like, you talk about shade, and now you sit with your friends. One of your friends is really sad, depressed. Instead of really tending to their business, hey, how you doing today? You talking about some that don't even matter. Like, can you look at your friend right now and see that they need you? Can you look at your mom right now and see? Can you look at your kid and understand they need you? But now you see what they said. You see what she said. Taking time away from your business. So somebody says, mind your own business. I agree. Mind your own business consciously. A lot of people are they're not minding their business. They're reminding themselves of everybody else's business. They're reminding themselves of last year's, how they did in their business. Oh, I failed. I did so bad last year. I failed. No, focus on creating value this year. Remember, I'm not just talking about your business, your entity. I'm talking about the entity of you. So you have to build your business with consciousness and consciously. So somebody says with consciousness, I said, you want to take care of your environment and make sure whatever you create in the environment adds value to it and does not deplete it. So what do I mean by that? Let's talk about actual business. How there's mental environment, and you might have a business that's messing up people's mental space. You don't even know it. Some businesses are out there like that today. Okay? Businesses are so focused on making the sale that they put manipulative marketing techniques to make you a zombie to the algorithm. Can you believe that? You ever caught yourself clickbait, and then you got clickbait to a rut? Now you in everybody else's business, and they're like, you won't believe what happened to Chris Brown. You're like, what did he do now? You're like, did you know that Jesse whatever is doing this? Oh, you won't believe it. And you're like, oh, I gotta click that. Then you click it. Now you're going down a whole rabbit loop, and you just keep watching it. So as you create your business, I know you want to make some money, but are you thinking about people's mental health? Well, ABC don't think about people's mental health. Somebody's like, who's ABC? The owner of Google. They're like, BlackRock, is it that name? Don't think about people's mindsets. So you're like, what does that have to do with me? I just want to make money. When you do things, I want you to think about the ramifications of what you do. Not just the result of what you get, but the ramifications, meaning what happens because you did it to somebody else. What are the ramifications of my actions? I be thinking about what I say. I'm in the business of teaching and saying and speaking. My words makes room for me. That's my gift. This is how I communicate. Business of speaking. What I say, I can't just say anything, because I can lead people astray. So I got to make sure To some extent, I'm being true to what I'm saying authentically from a place that is pure. If it's not, then it will be more likely that I can say stuff just to lead people astray. But when I operate from a place of truth, truth comes out, it resonates. Those who have ear will keep on hearing and listening, because it's not just like, oh no, they can feel it. They're like, man, I can feel the truth. So one of the major things is your intention. Like somebody says, how do I build my business with conscious and being conscious? Yo, you have to desire that. A lot of people don't even have that desire. They're like, man, do not wake me up from my sleep. I promise to you, you wake me up, I'm gonna slap you. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. Look, don't even mention to me that I'm unconscious. Don't talk to me about my subconscious mind. Don't you point out my habits? Man, you better get away from me with that BS. I don't want to hear from you. Don't even, look, some people don't even want to hear it. Okay? They don't want to be waking out of their sleep. So most people tiptoe their life. They tiptoe their way through life. Try not to wake up or disturb anybody and try not to be woke up. And some of them claim that they woke. They tiptoe their life to they tiptoe themselves to the graveyard. And then they go there with all of their gifts. And then they go make the graveyard more abundant than their life can be had they took charge of their own driver's seat. Somebody say, yo, that's deep. How am I tiptoeing? Because you trying to stay asleep, so you're not trying to make any noise. Or you really want to wake up, but you're like, everybody around me is sleeping. They're unconscious. Yo, if I try to wake up and talk about this, they all gonna hate me. I don't want to lose my friend, because my social circle is my identity. If I lose my friend, who am I? I've always known them. These are the people I've known forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever. You're like, damn it, can't do that. That's the problem. Sometimes your evolution is not just you treasuring one environment, it's you leaving it. Look, the hero's journey is sometimes you leaving a certain environment. It's so toxic that you can't stay in it no more. Because that toxicity is getting in your blood. So at some point, you have to make a determined, deliberate effort and say, hey, look, I've been sleepwalking through this thing called life. I have not been conscious in leading myself, so I've definitely been not leading others or leading my business. And you know what? I'm going to start to build my business with conscience, and I'm going to be conscious through the process. So in the day, I'm just going to live my life through subconscious habits. I'm going to set intentions every day. I'm going to have a vision, a goal, somewhere I'm going. You know, I'm going to pick what I'm doing. I'm going to choose to respond and not react. You know? I'm not just going to say that because I said that to everybody that ever talked to me like that for the last 20 years. No, I'm going to see what is needed in that situation. What is needed for me to stop suffering? For me to suffer less? What is needed for the other person to suffer less? What is needed for us to grow, get better? You know, those are the things that you want to think about. So you got to treasure what you have, honor what you have, and have a standard that is unlike no other, where you decide that, look, I am in control of my life. I am the chief executive officer of this thing called my life, and I choose what I do with it. And you know what? I'm not just going to build a business without integrity. I'm not going to do a business that hurts other people. By that, I'm going to make it my personal business to be a good person, to do good, to rock righteously on the earth, to say, look, I want to do something bigger than myself. Now, we've been reading this book, The E-Myth Enterprise, part of the Holistic Book Club. If you're listening to the podcast and you have not been hearing the book club reads, go to my YouTube channel, The Holistic Motivator, and you can get the playlist. You can read the chapters with me, and then we could do the reviews too. So here's what it says in the E-Myth Enterprise. An E-Myth enterprise is a business that takes personal responsibility for the condition of the world it finds itself in, for the condition of the people it interacts, for the condition of their children and their children's children, for the condition of the very quality of life itself. A business with conscience. That is, I believe, the only mission worthy of the name. To accomplish this mission requires all that we have. A business with conscience. That is, I believe, the only mission worthy of the name. To accomplish the mission requires all that we have. You see that? To create a world in which people are present, honest, open, and alive. To create a world in which people make conscious decisions in a good conscience. Look, you have to wish to be conscious. You have to make consciousness your business. What I'm saying, however, is that one must wish to be conscious. One must wish to be whole. One must wish to be objective. One must wish to be impartial. One must wish to be detached. One must wish to free of the automatic responses, the unconscious behavior that fills each of our days. One must wish to be human in the fullest sense of that word. When I think of John Anderson, Mary Connor Brown, Marianos Merle, when I think of every extraordinary small business owner I have the privilege to work with since I started my business 13 years ago, when I think of all of that, I think of the wish that saw us through, not the wish to be successful. That it was never any of us, and that was never it for any of us. It never will be. But the wish to do what we set out to do in the most human way possible. The wish to be true to something higher than the multitude of competing priorities that continually drag us down to earth. The wish to touch something quieter, finer, deeper, more resolute, more compassionate, more courageous, more challenging, more worthy, more human, more dignified in the course of our lives. It is my contention that no business, no matter what it does, can be great if its people wish less than these things. Listen, you gotta wish to improve the very quality of life itself. And your business is a way to pave that path. So many of the things we enjoy today, so many of the freedoms and systems that has caused ease in our life and not dis-ease, is a result of somebody saying, I want to create something that's going to impact the world, change the course of the human history. And they become creative and they find within themselves what the world needs because their gift was a supply for the world. Like everything comes from the earth and you come from the earth. The trees come from the earth and it feeds our bodies. Human spirits come from the earth to feed our minds and souls. And that love is the thing that holds it all together. So we have to be more loving. So being conscious, operating with conscience, starts from the sprouting of love. It starts from the sprouting of oneness. Who said that? One love. Oneness with love equals ultimate prosperity. Okay? God created this whole earth and universe with love and everything being in one, working as an ecosystem. So once you say, if I am part of the earth, God gave me a gift, I will bear fruit, so I am going to make it my personal business to get better, operate by the laws that yields results, not at the demise or at the sacrifice or at the demise of somebody else. But I will do things upon this planet to improve the very quality of life itself. That, my friend, is a life worth living, is a business worth creating, is a hustle worth grinding for every single day. So make it your business to grow. Personal development every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. I'm here every day on the other side, but I'm on both sides. Every day I'm learning, I'm growing. Every day I'm showing up. I teach myself. Now I've been teaching myself more than other people have been teaching me, because the moment I sit here operating my gift, boom, 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 download, and then I go back, I use it. I'm like, thank you, God. I just need to do this more often. So guess what? You're not finding the answers, not because you don't have them, but because you're not putting it into words. So sometimes you got to look at yourself in your mirror and give yourself a speech. You got to look at your journal and write something down. Look, you give somebody else an advice and you're like, dang, I need to take that. I need you to start being your coach. When you let God use you, God gonna coach you through yourself. Let that sink in. But you gotta be conscious to see the coaching. Instead of saying, well, that's me, God. I'm sorry, I can't change. God is like, yeah, sure. Sure, that's you. Yeah, that's who you've been choosing to be subconsciously lately. Listen, have you checked yourself to see, are you running your own bus? Look, I need you to check the driver. Look, all week, have you been driven by your hate or by your love? Have you been driven by your aspiration or by why somebody said, you're never gonna do that? Have you been driven by your faith or by your fear? Have you been driven by the desire to create or by the fear of loss? Are you driven because you know there's something in you and you have to reveal it? Or are you just driven because you want to drive the Rolls Royce like everybody else? What is your drive and where does it come from? Be a business with conscience and operate that business consciously. Keep growing with me. This is Ed Talks Daily, and obviously I'm Ed, aka the Holistic Motivator. Thank y'all for tapping into this episode of Ed Talks Daily, baby. Yo, this is a podcast, and every day I do a podcast live. So y'all watching, it's like, yo, it's a live video, and I'm over here, I'm engaging, I'm talking, but you can listen to it. It's a podcast on Apple Podcasts, got over 400 episodes, broadcasting all around the world, and I guarantee it, you're gonna love the way you look. No, you're gonna love the way you feel. But what I know for sure is that this podcast is gonna blow up to the charts. It's gonna be #1 one day in the alternative medicine space. So subscribe to it and join the tribe today, man. Make sure you join today and start growing with me along the process. Listen, I really want y'all to tap into some of the messages right now because they're gonna hit so much different because we're like on the same path, and as we're growing, the messages hit different because I'm not just putting stuff I've read, I'm talking about my life. And because of that, you're gonna feel that. And you're gonna be able to relate to me along the process. So this is the journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. My podcast shows you how I'm growing every day. And I'm just bringing a piece of my growth to you with my words. That's all I'm doing every day. Every day I'm showing up, I'm adding something to the bucket, adding something. Now, 4 years later, 400 episodes, 4 years later, all around the world. So go to edtalksdaily.com to subscribe or just text. All right, y'all see that right down here. Let me put it on the comment. If you've been listening, you didn't text me yet, you missing out, okay? I don't feel bad about it because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be sending them text messages. I'm still going to be empowering people daily. I'm still going to be giving them access to stuff that they wouldn't gotten unless there was a text message, right? But if you haven't texted me, then you ain't getting none of that. Because, you're either scared or kind of lazy or you out of country, then I understand. If you're out of the country, then you definitely can't text me because you're not in the state. I feel you on that, all right? But if you're out of the country, just subscribe. Go to edtalksdaily.com, subscribe to the email list. You're going to get emails when the next episodes come out. And now somebody says, yo, value. Man, I appreciate your podcast, man. You add so much value to me daily. I appreciate you too. You are part of my tribe, even if we haven't met. Now, how do you support your boy? Like, you're like, yo, why do I need support? Because I'm a human being, man. You know that? Like, I'm human. I have the same challenges you do. I go through the same stuff. It's just my mentality. Now, we might have the same mentality. I don't know. But I have a mentality. I have a mindset. So I have challenges. And one of the challenges and the opportunity to grow, really what it is growing this. So I need the reviews. So make sure y'all leave your review. Go to edtalksdaily.com/reviews. You leave a review, you don't even understand how much value you're adding. Somebody said, I don't really have money to donate to your podcast. I'd love to. I mean, I can go to edtalksdaily.com/donate, leave you some money, but I just don't got no money right now. But some of you say I do. If you do, Go give me some money. You're like, man, you asking me for my money? Well, I'm just saying, reciprocate the value. You know what I'm saying? But if that's not the case and you're like, okay, I don't really have money for you, bruh, it's cool. I don't want your money. Really, if your life transforms and a couple years from now you come to me and like, bruh, I listened to your podcast, something changed, that's my money. I feel great about that. God is going to tell me, well done, you faithful servant. You've been doing your job. I'm saying, thank you, God. I appreciate you, Daddy. I'm going to keep doing what I said, what I came here to do. But that feels good. But I want to see more people empowered by this. I want this to reach millions of people. I don't know why, but my soul wants to expand. So if you leave a review, edtalksdaily.com/reviews, you're going to be part of Ed Talks Daily history, first of all. You're going to be there specifically. We're going to see your review, your name, and how you love this podcast. And guess what? I will forever remember when you left that review back in 2022, March 16th. However, what's going to do in a wider perspective is somebody who's depressed, sad, tired, anxious, or just needs some motivation right across the world in Australia and Gambia, Turks and Caicos and Jamaica, they're going to be able to find this podcast easier because you took out your time and left a review. Like, you are going to help more. Like, you said, I don't know how I can help people. Help people by sharing stuff that help you if you're not. So you're like, yo, you mean to tell me I can help somebody by sending a podcast episode? I can help somebody by reviewing your podcast? Yup. You review this podcast. I guarantee you it'll go up in the charts, and some kid, some adult, some person is going to listen to it and said, look, I was thinking about suicide. I changed my mind. And you were part of that process. And you never know. You might have just sent somebody just a text with one of my episodes. You don't, like, it's really that deep. People think videos are just videos. Oh, audios are just, no, this is communication, man. This is way deeper than just a podcast, just some guy, weird guy talking. No, this is me being fruitful in multiplying the thoughts into words. And if they influence your mind and you do something with them, and you go influence other people, we are doing the work of God, right? The work of God meaning we are leveling up the consciousness of the world. So help me do this work. Help me grow. Help me get better. Leave a review. I gave you so many reasons to leave that review. If you didn't leave it, then I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing to shame you. I'm just going to say thank you. Be blessed. Okay, because sometimes I do that. I'd be like, man, you don't really rock with me. I'm not going to go there. Okay? I'm being more conscious. Like I said, build a business with conscious. Okay, so I can't be shaming y'all about not doing it. But I'm just saying, come on now. You've been listening to this how long? For a year? Come on now. One line. Oh, great podcast, 5 stars. Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It won't hurt. Promise you. It won't. So, with that being said, subscribe to the podcast, edtalksdaily.com, or text edtalks to 561-510-9605. I am done here. I just want to remind you, one day I used to be CEO Ambitionist on Instagram, not the Holistic Motivator. In 2020, I changed my name to the Holistic Motivator because it was transition. But what I said CEO Ambitionist is, I have an ambition to be the chief executive officer of my destiny, of my life, to run my life like a company, to see myself as a brand, to uphold that brand, and to do it with integrity, and do it with authenticity, and do it with my presence, and do it for something bigger than myself. And I sought out to that, and I took that idea of what I wanted to be and what I wanted to create, and I put it in mission. I said this 5-6 years ago. I said my mission in life is to inspire, motivate, and uplift people to take a holistic approach to life by doing so myself. Now, 6 years later, I am doing that, and every day I'm finding more ways to do it. So why did I just say all of that? When you decide to be the driver of your bus, when you decide, you're not going to subconsciously relive or react. You're going to consciously respawn and create your life. And you affirm it, you state it, you believe it, you live it, you practice, you show up every day, every day. Consistency is the key to mastery. Guess what? Something is gonna be, you're gonna give birth to something you never knew. You're gonna see the business of yourself growing to a point where, like, whoa, I didn't know I was this profitable. I didn't know I was this powerful, right? So that's why a lot of people who become entrepreneurs, they thought they were about to refine and build a business, but they actually refined themselves, and they made themselves a priority, a business. And that refining of their character, of their mindset, of their skill set, of their habits, it created something out of a natural ingredient, okay? So they refined the stone that God has already put on the earth, and they turned it into a beautiful necklace, and they went into the marketplace, and they sold their refinement of values, character, habits, mindset as a product or a service. So that's possible for you too. Keep growing, keep refining yourself. This is my message. I want to remind everybody here, I say this so much, that you have the unlimited power in you to achieve whatever it is that you want, to construct the person you were created to be. But first you have to believe it in order to achieve it. And until that happens, the world will forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things you have to offer, man. So remember, let your light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. Because we need your light. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. It's the Holistic Motivator, and I want to thank y'all for watching here. Peace. I'm not doing the middle finger. I'm just doing the original peace sign. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. It's good hanging out with y'all. But your boy got to go. Lifestyle Tribe, we get a community to support you, a mastermind where you can master your mind. Go to holisticlifestyletribe.com, and there you'll be able to join the Holistic Lifestyle Tribe and join a group of seekers, healers, coaches, teachers, and motivators, so that way you can create a lifestyle that is going to create the business and the life that you want. So learn how to create holistic routines by adopting holistic habits, getting holistic tools, and holistic practices to build your brand and build a brand of yourself. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Thank y'all for watching here and listening to this podcast.